Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For starters, I want to say thank you for everybody who subscribed, and thank you for everyone who's showing the love and support, and let's become one family. So continue the love, continue the sharing, comment, subscribe, watch my videos. So as you have seen, my video was about the things that I wish I knew when I was pregnant and after the pregnancy, and let's get into it. So thing number one that I wish I knew, there's a lot of physical changes that happen to your body, despite you having a human being going inside of you, there's a lot of things that happen to your body that you necessarily don't have going, and sometimes people do this. I never thought that I would do it alone. I'm saying alone because I was not technically in a stable relationship at that time, and it's not something that I blame myself. It's something that I do not blame the universe or anything like that. Maybe our paths were not supposed to cross at that time. But yeah, so thing number one, there's a lot of things that go into pregnancy. There's mental preparation, there's physical preparation, there's financial preparation that you have to financially prepare for, because babies come with a lot of expenses. So for starters, something that I wish I knew, I wish I had enough savings before having the baby, because I never thought about anything after my pregnancy. I just thought about my baby. My pregnancy is cute or whatever, and everybody who's pregnant just thinks about the pregnancy. And I think I'm speaking for everybody, but for me, I only thought about my pregnancy, and I do not think about anything that comes after the pregnancy. So something else that I discovered during my pregnancy is sometimes you discover that like for me to discover this was something new. I never knew about it, but there's something they call RH, like the rhesus factor, between you and your partner. So in most cases you need to make sure your rhesus factors match. That is something that no one ever thinks about it. I never thought about it, because I knew I was O positive, and my baby's dad was like, I think AB or B, something like that, but I never thought about the rhesus factor. So seemingly I was a rhesus negative, and my baby dad was a rhesus positive, and my baby was a rhesus negative. So our blood was not supposed to mix in all that situation, and it was going to be, it's not something that they can't take care of here, which I'm grateful for, because they saw it and took care of it immediately, because I got the shot and everything like that. So, and I also got a shot after I delivered my baby, because our blood mixed together when he was being born. So that is something that I wish I knew. Another thing I wish I knew is birth plans normally don't go as you plan. So I had a birth plan, like I knew I was going to give birth in this hospital. I knew I was going to give birth to this doctor who I've been seeing all this while. I was comfortable, I was ready, and I did not think that my baby was as heavy as he was when he was born. So when it actually got to the birth date, because I had a due date, but I was sure that my baby was going to get to the due date, but that was not the case. So birth plans do not really work out. So if you want to know about my story, please subscribe and check out for my next video. Anyway, there's a lot of physical changes. Face swole up, my cheeks were swollen, my fingers were swollen, my legs were swollen. That was something I wasn't ready for, and I got stretch marks when I thought that I was never going to have them. And there's also something that comes after the birth, that your belly fat, if you're not an active person, I'm not an active person, so my belly fat has not gone away, and that is something that I have to be confident in. And right now I'm confident in my own skin. Your opinion to come and look at me, you know what I'm saying? So but yeah, you have to have a lot of emotional and financial support too when you're about to have a baby, because babies are expensive. babies come with a lot of time. Babies, if you had anything you'd like to do when you were not pregnant and after you have the baby, you're going to most times forget to do the things that you used to like to do. So as for me, I used to like having my own space, having my own privacy and whatever. But after my baby came, I knew like that has to change, because you do not have any privacy for starters. My baby drags out anything that is attractive to him. He will pull out anything that is colorful to him. He will pull out and take it and drag it, whatever. I lose stuff, babies get hurt in weird ways that you didn't even think that they would get hurt. Babies get stuck in places you didn't think they could get stuck. So all these things, you have to be very attentive and very careful when it comes to after having the baby. Your responsibility changes every time you want to do something. You think about, oh my baby, because especially if you're a single mother, you have a lot to deal with. You can't go out, you can't do things that you're limited. Let me just say that you're limited to things that you can do, in the difference of you being single and not pregnant and you being single and a mother. And anyway, I'm not necessarily just taking care of my baby alone. The baby's dad is actively in his life sometimes, and he takes care of him if he wants to take care of him. He's just not living in the same house, which is fine too, because I'd rather my son grow up in two different homes and a happy home, or two different happy homes, than living one home where people argue, people quarrel, people fight, people throw stuff at each other. Not saying that's my case, but I'm thinking that's a better environment for him to grow up and know things that he needs to know and grow up knowing, than him living in a house knowing violence and not respecting each and every one of us. So yeah, that's a good decision. If you feel like you're in a position where you're comfortable to be your own self and you do not care about what any other person is going to say, go for it. You do not have to live in an abusive home. You do not have to live in a home where you're not getting your needs. It's just one-sided, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was my decision, it was my choice, and it was both of our choices that we co-parents, then be together. So that is something that I had to learn. And babies get sick a lot too. When my baby first got sick, he was in daycare, and he had just joined daycare, so he was around so many babies, and he got the flu, he got his ear infections, he got the rash, he almost got the pink eye. The person is not going to take care of this specific baby in a specific way unless you plan on going to one of those expensive daycares. And if you're limited and you have budget, you're going to go to a daycare where your baby is safe. So when my baby got sick, it was very traumatizing, because it was about almost 3-4 months that we had to deal with his sickness, and he was in and out of the hospital. And for those of you who live in the States, you know that if you miss a day of work that is not part of your paid time off, PTO, it's not paid for. It's an occurrence. You get fired. People get fired for that. And it becomes a frequent thing, and most employers don't like that. So I'm glad for my employer. She understands that I have a baby, and she understands people have families. And when my baby was sick, and we had to do all those things for him because he was sick every single week, and we had to go to fucking hospital every single week. So it was not fun. It's very stressful, especially if you're doing it alone. But for myself, I think it's God and good support. It only takes one person to tell you the right thing, and you're ready to face anything. So all I can say is baby come with a lot of responsibilities, which you have to be responsible first before you can be able to take care of another human being who needs your full support, your full attention, your full time, your everything, dedication, everything. You need to be first disciplined by yourself. So that is another advice that I would give anybody out there, is be ready mentally, physically. Even if you're going through the process, be ready to know that this is what I'm going to go through, and how am I ready for this type of situation, because sometimes people do end up in a relationship where you do have the baby together with your significant other, and then something happens. It can be death, it can be due to unavoidable circumstances where you two have to separate from each other, and you will end up being a single mother, and you'll have to grow the balls, sorry to say, but you have to grow the balls to have to take care of this human being by yourself. So yeah, and nobody cares about your fucking business. Yeah, those who care about your business and what you do every day, those are petty people, unless they care in a genuine way. But those who care just to get a story out of you, they don't matter. Just focus on your child, focus on yourself, because if you don't eat good, you don't have the energy to deal with the baby. So that's the only advice. I didn't mean to poke my nose, but that's the only advice that I can give to anybody. Don't care about what people say. I mean, words don't hurt nobody. I mean, they can be hurtful if you hear them from someone you did not expect, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't move me. If it was in the past, I would be very offended when someone says anything about me. But right now, I don't really care. Like, it is what it is, You need to get your financial stability. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter where you're working. It doesn't matter how much money you're getting, but you need to have a source of income for what the baby needs, because once the baby stops breastfeeding, it's another whole new chapter, my girl. It's a whole new world. Like, they eat food. They eat like a freaking human being. So there's a lot you have to deal with, if you don't have that financial stability where you have money and income coming in regularly, you're going to have depression. You're going to have a lot of things. You're not going to be happy, So once I discovered that I was going to be a single mother is when I got my job and got settled in and got I finally got my own apartment and everything. And once I saw that I'm at a place where I'm stable for me and my son, I was very comfortable. I didn't care. I didn't care about what people say. I didn't care about what people think, because it doesn't matter, If you start thinking about what other people are saying about you, you're going to lose focus on what you want to do for yourself and your child. And you're going to focus on trying to impress this other person who doesn't really give two fucks about you, But yeah, if you have a good support system, that is good, because it's going to be helpful for you in the long run. So yeah, and me coming from an African home, I know what it's all about, because I've gone through that. I've gone through the criticism. Someone's going to say like, oh, talk about you behind their backs. But if you do not care about what people talk about, it doesn't really move you, It's like they're just adding story to their timeline, It doesn't, as long as nobody like puts any false like statements about your child or about yourself. Because once it gets to my child and you say something negative, we're gonna fight. I don't know how to fight, but I'm gonna figure it out and I'm gonna punch you. And that's it. Because once you have your child, you will know, you get very defensive. Everything revolves around your child. And I'm sure that's the main reason why most families break up, because most of the time that you spend it with your child. Because I know for myself, when I had my baby, it was just him. I didn't think about anybody else. I'm not blaming myself for being a single mother, but I'm just saying that it takes a lot of dedication and love and care. And the moment babies sense energies, so if your baby senses good energy from you, he's gonna give back the same energy. And that's what I discovered with my son. If I give him love, if I smile back, he's gonna smile back. If I laugh back, he's gonna laugh back with me, and he's gonna want to laugh back with me every single time, And that's a really good experience. So I'm out of breath, but that's all I had for today. The things that I wish I knew and the things I wish that I was fully prepared for before I had my baby. And for everybody who was there for me, that's a blessing. You're my family, you know that, and you know yourselves, you're my family. Anybody who supports any other single mother that you see out there, if you're pregnant and going through the same thing, please ask me any questions that you want to ask, and I'll be open to answer them. If you're going through a pregnancy and you don't know how to tell it to your parents, or you don't know how to tell it to your family, there's a lot of ways. Like, there's nothing you can do about it, you know. It's already happened. You're there. You're going to be a mother. Be thankful. Be grateful. You know, that's just the best experience I can say. And I'll be telling you, my first story time will be my birth story. I'm going to start from there, and any other story that will come from there will be just my general story and what I go through and what I've gone through so far. And let's get to that. So please subscribe, share, like, comment, do anything you want to do with this video. Just give me the support and love, and I'll show back the support and love. Again, if you haven't followed me on my social medias, I'm going to put my Instagram and my Snapchat right there, and you can go and follow me on both social medias, and I will follow back. Leave me a comment, leave me a love, leave me a heart. I appreciate all that. Till I see you next time, bye bye.